I have a surplus of eggs and I need to deal with that. Welcome back, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am working on pickled eggs. If you're new here, I'm Kathryn, the Aerogarden Homesteader, and I do a whole plethora of things. I am trying to learn homesteading skills for my tiny quarter-acre home. I have 18 eggs all boiled up, ready to get peeled. So I am going to start with, I should probably start with the spices, but I'm going to get this onion cut so it's out of the way. Then I will get the spices in the bottom of the jar. Then I want to start peeling and dropping the eggs in. It's a pretty simple recipe. This is just a fridge pickle. I don't know that there are any approved canning recipes for actual shelf-stable pickled eggs, but you know, you do you if you find one. So I have made this recipe before. It is a really good recipe. I omit the sugar. I will put a link, if I can find the link, I will put a link to the full recipe. If you like yours to be a little on the sweeter side, you go right ahead. This is, really you can customize this as much as you want. So if you want more dill, put in more dill. If you want more onion, put in more onion. If you don't like sugar, don't put the sugar in. It's really what it boils down to. Now I am putting in some onion, but I don't know that I'm putting in enough onion for the amount of eggs I'm using. This is almost a double batch. We will see how many eggs fit into a half-gallon jar. I finally was able to get some half-gallon jars this year. We found some on sale, and I am so excited to be able to use these for just general use around the house. One of these days I would like to also see if I could make some apple juice and be able to can that up and just have it in the pantry. So that is on my life to-do list for canning stuff. Okay, so I put in 1 onion. It called for 1 cup of onion, but you know, this is not a canning recipe, so it doesn't need to be exact. Just throw in an onion. That was about 1 sprig of dill. So it's just the little sprigs that were kind of growing in my garden. They're not full sprigs, so there's probably about 4 or 5 little tiny ones in there, but I just grabbed what I could. And we'll need something that fits in my, okay. 2 tablespoons of salt. So it does not matter for this if you're using canning salt or pickling salt. It's not getting processed. It shouldn't go cloudy or whatever it does, because it's just going to be sitting in the fridge, and this shouldn't be going for a long time. I mean, the assumption is you're going to eat this in a relatively reasonable amount of time. Okay, everything else is going to be a 1 teaspoon. So I've got some dill. I wonder if I should use up the rest of the... So those ones were from the garden, and this is the last of the ones that I bought in the store, so there you go. That works out. Okay. Now I can refill my little thing. Okay, coriander seed. I don't have much of this. Just put a little bit in, so I have some for next time. Celery seed. I am not a fan of celery seed at all, so I am just going to put in like a 1/4 teaspoon of that, but like I said earlier, everything is 1 teaspoon. Do what you want. Mix it up how you want it. And then this is mustard seed. This is not from my garden, but I thought I would try to use it up because it's getting old as well. So that is that. Now I have a lot of eggs to peel. So I hard-boiled some eggs earlier. These have been sitting in the fridge, so really it just boils down to, it just comes down to me peeling all of these and getting them in my jar before adding my liquid. I want to get these peeled in the jar so that I know how much liquid to add. I did these in a pressure pot, like an Instapot. So there's a method out there for 555 eggs. So it's 5 minutes under pressure, 5 minutes slow release, 5 minutes in cold water, and I feel like it works out pretty good. I get a nice hard-boiled egg. There's no softness in the middle. It just kind of depends on how you like your eggs. For this, I am using a fully cooked hard-boiled egg, but not so cooked that you get that black coating around the yolk. Now, ideally what I would like to do one of these days is the next time I do hard-boiled eggs, I want to make golden eggs. So I got to figure out if I can jerry-rig something to make golden eggs, because then the flavor is more uniform through the whole egg. So I'm going to get these peeled up. I am not going to take you along for that because that is just going to be painful. I might try putting them in a bowl and giving them a shake, but I will probably just be stubborn about it and do them all by hand. Okay, so I have all the eggs in. The jar probably could hold at least 2 more easily. I might have been able to put them in slightly better than that. Maybe if I had mixed in the onions throughout, I could have fit in 4 more. So if you've got a half-gallon jar, you might be able to fit 24 eggs in there. The next step is going to be putting in a 1-to-1 of vinegar and water. So I will start with 1 cup of vinegar, add 1 cup of water, and see what that gets me, because obviously the egg is taking up some amount of space. I might need more than that. Okay, 1 cup vinegar, 1 cup water. Use the vinegar of your choice. I prefer white vinegar, so I use that a lot. It's the one I grew up with. I might do half a cup this time, just in case, because I don't want to mix up too much. Okay, there we go. This is half a cup of vinegar and half a cup of water. Let's see what we get. Oh yeah, there we go. I called that one just right. Okay, so you probably need about 1.5 cups of each, depending on how many eggs you put in. So I have 18 eggs in here, and I got 1.5 cups out of it. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a mix just to try to get the salt slightly dissolved. But I'm going to put a lid on it and mix it all up. And then pretty much it just needs to sit in the fridge for... So I've heard the earliest you could start eating it is like 3 to 4 days. Some people said you could eat it the next day. If you really want a good flavor, you should let it go for a couple weeks just to let it really marinate and penetrate into the egg all the way. So, but really it depends on what you want. So, and you know how much room you have in the fridge. So I am going to get a lid on this. With vinegar products, it's probably best to use a plastic lid. That way you don't get any rusting around your band. So, but that's pretty much it. That is, it's so easy to make this. There really isn't anything for me to show you after the fact. There's no color change in the interior of the egg or anything like that. It's just, at this point, it just marinates and picks up the flavor of the solution. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have any really good egg recipes for me to try, let me know below. I am always looking for new recipes for things, especially when I have a surplus of stuff. And I have a surplus of eggs. This has never been a problem before. So let me know. I will have some videos up at the end that you might enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.